Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Jose Arteaga's vlog. Alright, so let's get to it. I'm not going to provide a date on this one because this one's going to be an informative video that, hopefully will be, shared and spread out. But anyway, let's just get to it. So today's episode is about Cuba Ventures Corp. More specifically, the fact that I heard that the blockchain is going to be integrated within Cuba, and a coin, a CCU coin, is going to be created in order to facilitate trade between Cuba and the rest of the world. I mean, it's just simple as that. It's mainly for the U.S. and the U.S. dollar and that whole circumvent that whole thing, but obviously it's for the rest of the world as well. And this is what this whole episode is, to dissect that somewhat, and discuss it a little bit, and go from there. Hopefully I can do it all in one episode, I think. So let's just get through it. Okay, so the other day I was watching the Kaiser report, and I saw this guy. Let's see if I still have it on here. So Nick, what's his name? Okay, I literally should have. Forget his name. I'll find out in a minute. But anyway, the guy that is the CEO of Cuba Ventures Corp. Okay, and he was being interviewed, and he was literally talking about how they are trying to integrate the blockchain and create a token, a coin, in order to do business with Cuba. And I was like, I was listening to the interview and I was intrigued. Antennas went up. I was like, oh wow, this is amazing. So, in the time that I had within, when I saw that, I think it was yesterday, whatever, not quite sure, but I started doing research every little minute, every chance that I got, and pretty much this morning I was, again, obsessed with that, and so I was just researching as much as possible, and bam, here we are. So, I mean, there's not much out there to really research it. I mean, it's just not, this is some really hard, but I was able to get a lot of stuff. And again, a lot of this stuff correlates with, again, just things that I had already kind of envisioned and figured out, and it has to do with, business, financials, economy, all this stuff. So let's just start with that. So, right now, let's just start with Cuba, the coin, and how this is going to work, okay? So for example, right now, when Obama lifted the embargo or whatever, I say it like this because it's all bullshit, okay? The embargo to begin with, the lifting of it, and then now the re-establishing it of whatever with, President Trump and that whole thing. Because again, it's I don't want to get into politics, so let's just leave it there. But because of what has happened again recently, by placing the embargo again, it has stifled, and it will stifle business in Cuba. If you would have gone to Cuba 4 or 5 years ago, it was a very different place than it is now. Now you go and there's like thousands and thousands, literally, of restaurants and hotels and taxis and all these other services that are now, a part of a capitalist environment, that were not there before. And they're all, being created and thriving on a, daily basis. And so when they pretty much were said that, when Obama said that they were going to allow American businesses to do, to do business with Cuba, all that really meant, more than anything, was, just companies like Visa, MasterCard, American Express being able to do work there, Square, things like that. Why? Because the only way that a Cuban citizen can actually get any money is through cash. And so, for example, a tourist has to go there with only cash from whatever country they're from, and then when they get there, they have to exchange it for Cuban money, and then that Cuban money is the only thing that they can use to do anything there. That's it. And so, and then once they leave the island, those Cuban dollars are not good anymore. They're just souvenirs, I guess. But anywho, with that being said, there's no real way to help push the economy up. And hold on. There isn't, because it's a cash only economy. And so when they were going to introduce, the Visa, the MasterCard, that whole payment system, through the internet, all this other stuff, it was, again, they're going to allow someone in Switzerland, in Canada, and the United States of America to literally get on their computer and book an Airbnb or pay somebody through remittance. I'll explain remittance in a second. But anyway, to be able to pay for a service through the computer, so that when they get there, it's already paid. It's already, there's just like any other traveling that's done in the world. You get what I'm saying? Paperwork and all that stuff. So anyway, but the point is, at the end of the day, just the fact that you can pay them, and then not just that, but like, let's just say that a tourist is in Cuba, they would have been able to, create or use a service like an Uber, or even just pay the taxi, with a credit card, or pay the Airbnb, or pay the restaurant, or pay the whatever with their credit card. But now, again, that got destroyed because the whole political whatever the fuck. So now, again, it's going back to that cash system again. So, bringing back, this whole thing to why I was making the videos, because when I saw this guy explaining the coin and how it's going to work, I was like, oh my god, beautiful. So how this coin is going to work, it's not going to be, it's completely different. It's going to be in its own blockchain, and it's going to be its own thing. All this coin is going to do is just facilitate trade. Simple as that. So just imagine the euro, but for the Caribbean. Only how like the euro runs the European Union, and it's a fucking mess. It's not going to be like that at all. It'll be that, this currency is not going to run anything. All this currency is going to be what it's supposed to be, a means of exchange and nothing else. Apologize for the noise. Noisy neighbors. Anyway, so, and so since there's not going to be any kind of government control, that means that, like, at the end of the day, any tourist that wants to, let's say, hobnob, on a cruise ship and travel throughout the whole Caribbean, they would, like, let's say they have euros or pounds or US dollars or Canadian whatever, it doesn't matter. They would literally, before their vacation, just buy a bunch of these CCU tokens, and then these CCU tokens would be used, throughout the Caribbean. So, let's say they go to the Dominican Republic, let's say Cuba, Jamaica, whatever, and in each country, those CCU tokens are of different, in each place they would have a different value. And immediately when you pay for a service in Cuba, any service, okay, you will get the person will get Cuban dollars. You go to Jamaica, they will get whatever Jamaican money that is. In Dominican Republic and like that. Now, I know I'm talking about the cruise ship in Cuba, and I don't know if that works, you know what I mean? But anyway, let's just stick with one country, which is Cuba. So now what this is going to allow to do is that, like, when a tourist, let's just say me, I want to go visit Cuba, I would literally go online, book my hotel, book my everything just as usual, and, use a credit card, and my credit card will pay for the service, but in the process of paying for the service, it'll turn into those tokens, and those tokens would turn into Cuban dollars on the other end. And then when I get there, I'll have my hotel, I'll have my service, I'll have my whatever. When I get there as well, I'll be able to use my cell phone, and with the other Cuban that's selling me a service, they will have a cell phone, and it will be easy transfer. So let's say I go to a restaurant, just like here in the United States right now, we go to a restaurant, I want to buy some tacos, I want to buy a coffee. So then once I get the coffee or the tacos and I'm paying, the person will, use their phone or their tablet with a little square thing. I'll run my American credit card or credit card from whatever country, Dubai, it doesn't really fucking matter, Hong Kong. I'll run it through, sorry, cracking my neck. Anyway, I'll run it through, and it'll turn from whatever currency I have into those CCUs, and those CCUs will turn into Cuban dollars. And they will get paid. You get what I'm saying? So, that right. And then again, it's all legal. Because it's all on the blockchain. None of this, is illegal now. Okay? So that's number one. I mean, this is gonna just change and revolutionize everything. So like at first, this coin, how I envision, is just gonna start off with the tourism and tourist and that whole thing, but then eventually it's just gonna start eking out, and businesses will start coming in, and or even better, the people of the island will be empowered by all this extra money coming in, and they themselves will be building their own businesses and corporations and shit like that within the island, and keep it all within there, and that's it. Pretty awesome, right? And then when this rolls out from what I was reading, it's only going to roll out in Cuba and the Bahamas. Perfect. And then from there, as it grows, it will start expanding everywhere else as others accept it. Now, why this is amazing? Like for example, we've already heard that Venezuela is coming out with the petro coin, or their own petro coin. So what's the difference between these two? It's a humongous difference, okay? That petro coin is literally a coin that is centralized, okay, and run by the government, okay? They're saying they're backing it by the resources of the country. Again, anyone that really understands the blockchain technology, Bitcoin, and this whole everything, understand that that's not the whole point to any of this, okay? So right then and there, that whole petro coin is going to fail. It's not going to be good for a million reasons. Same as any other coin created by any other government, because it's centralized, and all that is going to do is, again, just replace the dollar, the yuan, the anything. So that's not good. We don't want to do that, okay? We just need to create a new medium of exchange in order to eliminate the government control, which is created by their money printing and that whole thing. Okay, so eventually, in my vision, the CCU coin is going to be so powerful that once a petro coin fails, they will be using that CCU coin. And all that CCU coin is going to be a medium of exchange. That's it. How it should be. And again, eventually, who knows? We might be going away from things like the dollar, the yuan, and all these dollars, whatever. And then it'll be like things like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dash, whatever. And then it'll be like where in the countries where they still have that situation, it doesn't matter, because you'll be having all your Bitcoin or your Litecoin or your whatever. You can just what is it? Transfer that? What is it? Like shape shift, whatever. That from. What is it, your Bitcoin, Litecoin into CCU coins, and those CCU coins will turn into their Cuban dollars or whatever currency they want. How about that? Okay, who gives a fuck? So, when I was all right, sorry, I was thinking about two things at the same time. Brain fart. So, making sure the time thingamajiggy is not going too long. So, okay, so now, to my vision before any of this, okay, and of what was gonna happen with this humongous wealth transfer around the world, and then after seeing that interview, I was like, oh wow, bam, because it was something that was close to home. Because again, I already know of these situations. Whoop. Drop something, piece of paper. Anyway, these situations are already happening in like Africa and other underdeveloped countries around the world, but it's a lot different when it's like, again, in your backyard. And especially, look, I'm Cuban, in Cuba and the whole thing, and the Caribbean, all this is right, I'm from Miami, born and raised, so like all this is, literally, hablo español, so soy cubano, imagínate tú, all this is very close to my heart, okay? And very, stuff that I can research like that, because I speak Spanish, so I can understand everything in a different context as well. So, plus my culture, etc., etc. Anyway. So what I was, saying many moons ago was that, like, the U.S. economy and the economy of a lot of developed countries, but mainly the U.S. and Canada and things like that. The economies were going to start tanking and failing and etc., etc. I don't want to get into that. Again, if you want to do your own research on that, okay? The death of the dollar, the death of all this shit, okay? So, but with that happening, there's always when there's a high here, there's a low here, and when there's a low, and when there's a, Sorry, I'm semi-retarded, okay? But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that, things go in cycles. So, with that being said, like the whole Caribbean, all of Central America, for the good majority of the time that the United States has been kicking ass, they have not been kicking ass. And again, we don't want to get into the politics of that, but the real reason is because this country put dictators in literally every fucking fucking country, and we're running these countries like puppet governments, and it was not good, okay? Because they were just all colonies of this country, and the first one to start revolting was Cuba, and eventually everybody started revolting. Hence, all these dictators, throughout Central America and South America have fallen, and why the relationship with Cuba and all these countries is amazing and beautiful, and they love Cuba because, they look at Cuba as the inspiration for their people rising up and overthrowing these U.S. put dictators in their countries, and now the people running their countries are, people are now people that the people put in place. So, with that said, a lot of these countries are still struggling because of the whole grip that the United States has, the U.S. dollar has with the rest of the world. So with this now coming into the market, it's not only going to help Cuba, but it's going to help the rest of the underdeveloped country from, Central America and South America and the Caribbean. So, again, the wealth transfer that we keep hearing about, this is the wealth transfer. So now, again, in the future, and who knows how long it's going to take, but who knows, by 2050, we're going to look back at the United States and be like, whoa, what the hell happened? And we're going to look at, we're going to look at the Caribbean and be like, oh, wow, look at the success story there. And, just a few years ago, I've been envisioning this for a few years now because of, just following the trends and the financials and all this stuff. But I really had no idea how it was going to happen until it all clicked to me yesterday when I saw this and started, researching all this and be like, oh, this is how it's going to happen. This is how the wealth transfer is going to be created. This is how, okay. So, yeah, it's going to be, this whole thing is a beautiful thing. Now, when I started doing some research on Cuba Ventures Corp, and I started, clicking on the links that they had, for the blockchain, for their coin, for all this, it's all like just a page, okay? They don't have anything really there yet. But they do have a lot of things, so far. So they already have like saying that they're, they already said that they're developing an app, which is, the app is, what's probably going to be used on a day-to-day basis, by Cubans and by people that will be traveling there. So, for example, like I'm traveling, I'll download the app, and then that app is what's going to be, it's going to allow me to, transfer my U.S. currency, my euros, my whatever, into CCU coins, and the CCU coins, be transferred to, from one phone to the other, to the Cuban citizen, and the Cuban citizen then again exchange them for, Cuban dollars. Or whatever. Maybe not exchange them at all. Who knows? Maybe those coins will, keep value. But from what they were saying is that this coin is only gonna facilitate the transfer. So once, because the transfer has to happen. That's, I guess, the legal mumbo jumbo. So I guess that they won't be able to accumulate these CCU coins. The coin will be created and destroyed in a one simultaneous process within the transfer. Beautiful fucking thing. Okay, even better, even more decentralized, I think. So this is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be amazing. So let's see. I got some notes here. Let me see what I got. Okay, so again, just thinking a little bit ahead. Let's just think a little ahead with this. I think that look, right now Cuba, 80% of it is run by the military. Okay, and oh man, okay, I think my roommates are up. I'm gonna cut this short, okay? But because it's already running long anyway. So I guess this will be just part one. Just comment and what is it? Yeah. Just comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Troll me. Let's keep this going. Let's talk about this some more. We already got some basic research and basic, everything on this, and we'll do a part two for sure. Okay? This is too awesome, and I'm definitely gonna be following up on this a lot, and yeah, it's gonna be cool. So, all right, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for being here with me, and let's do this. All right, let's let's exchange the world with the blockchain and Bitcoin all the way, baby. Oh, by the way, let's end it with this because I kind of wanted to say this too. Bitcoin is dangerously high. Okay, it's like at some level. I feel, Ivan on Tech was talking about this the other day, and I was just like, damn, yeah. Anyway, I think we're due for a crazy correction. Okay. maybe 80% correction. Okay, so if it's at 16, 17, 80%, would probably put it like at $2,000 or something like that. Maybe $1,000, $3, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, the way I see it is the lower the better. Because remember, all this is a means of exchange, it's currency. It's this whole thing. I don't want to get into it. But if it starts falling hard, like, you know, just start selling, get some fiat, hodl the fiat until a complete crash, and then once you know we hit the bottom, buy it like a motherfucker. It's gonna be on crazy sale. You already know where it's going. A lot higher than 18, a lot higher than 20, a lot higher than, okay, 500K. Once it gets there, that's the bubble, I feel. All right, but again, I don't know, maybe it might be a million. All right, but I feel once we get to 500K, that's the fucking time that we should be all like, oh, okay, too high. All right, so, but again, okay, I'll leave it at this. Thank you again. Like and subscribe. That was just a little update on that. And CCU coin, blockchain for Cuba and the Caribbean, and blockchain to liberate everybody. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate it.